all, I'm the first speaker. I'm DANCEL, and the second speaker is
it's me, NURALIYAH Sarah, and the third speaker is me, NURALIYAH ZAHARIN, and the last speaker is me, FATIN HALIM.
For introduction, during the modern era of the 21st century, television consists of a variety of programs that are classified as entertainment and educational programs. So there are entertaining programs that are such as TV shows or variety shows, and an example is The Walking Dead, 13 Reasons Why, and Riverdale for television shows. And there are also educational programs such as How It's Made or The Origins, The Journey of Humankind. There are also educational programs that are animations, which are meant for younger children to study, such as Sid the Science Kid, Dinosaur Train, and the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. But even with all these educational programs, viewers, they choose to watch entertainment programs instead. The history of television. In 1927, a Russian immigrant named Vladimir Zworykin, who was working for the Westinghouse Corporation, developed a circuit that is used for transforming visual images into an electronic signal. Philo T. Farnsworth developed a similar system to the one created by Vladimir Zworykin. And RCA, which is the company that dominated the radio business in the United States, invested $50 million in the development of an electronic system, which has been created by them. David Starnoff built one of the first commercial television stations in the year 1932 that consists of transmitting facilities in the Empire State Building. In 1993, the formal initiation of commercial television began at the World's Fair in New York with the theme The World of Tomorrow. During the early stage of television, there were 4 television networks, which were the National Broadcasting Company, or known as NBC, the Columbia Broadcasting System, known as CBS, the American Broadcasting Company, known as ABC, and DuMont. DuMont's network lasted for a brief amount of time, from the year 1946 to 1955. It contained mostly of low-budget programming, such as quiz shows and variety shows. ABC and DuMont were both weak networks, but the DuMont network lacked the radio station relationships that the ABC network had, and making them unable to line up the affiliates. The stations that DuMont owned then went to become a start of a major independent station group called Metro Media Television, which eventually became the Fox network. So there are effects of television during the early stage. During the early stage, different kinds of programs affected the society in many different ways. There were news programs that made people aware about political issues going on, but it also confused viewers with too much information on conflicting sides and of important issues. There were classic children's shows that helped prepare children for school by making studying fun, but it also led those children to short attention spans in school. There were sports programs that were entertaining, but it slowly led to males developing an obsession towards those televised sport programs and events. There were also variety shows and reality shows, but the effects of television was not how it is today. Today there are modern day effects of television. During the early stages of children animation shows, there were educational shows such as Sesame Street, Barney and Friends, which helped captivate children's attention, but yet they still managed to educate children, and it was appropriate. But nowadays, children do not pay any interest in these shows, and because they now watch more of these entertaining programs that are inappropriate, and they lack educational traits such as Pickle and Peanut, Nunchucks, and Rocket Monkeys. For adults, there were also cases in which they do not choose to watch educational programs such as National Geographic shows or documentary channels or any other educational channels. Instead, they were caught up in the fantasy of reality shows such as Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and also they watch variety shows like America's Got Talent. But not all television programs are bad. There are both good effects and bad effects of television programs in the modern day. It all depends on how people choose to watch television. It's either they choose to watch educational programs or they choose to watch entertainment programs. That's all for the introduction. Now off to the comparison between good and bad television programs.
I'll be compare the good and bad television programs. And the good quality of television programs are moral values, social issues, and also it's educational. For moral values, these values are taught at a very young age by parents and also teachers. However, those two channels are not enough to teach these young kids. So that's where television program comes in. So some television programs can help to teach the audience about moral value, such as the TV show Doctor Who. It has taught us to overcome challenges, and one can never stop learning regardless of their age. Now next is social issues. Social issues such as suicide or sexual harassment will make the victim not speak up their mind about it due to the lack of knowledge from their friends and family. Leaders use their medium as a platform to talk about the issues that not many people talk about, such as the show 13 Reasons Why. The show is about a girl who suffers from bullying and also sexual harassment, and due to this, she ended up killing herself. And the response from this particular TV show is that a lot of people experience in their stories, and other people around them will also be aware of the problem. However, it is a great way to educate people, especially the young kids. Shows such as Sesame Street will help them to expand and accept new knowledge as they are young, and parents should let their children watch these kind of shows. These kinds of shows will educate the kids more if the parents are not around. Okay, so now we'll talk about the bad qualities of television program. One of it is stereotyping. Stereotyping people based on their backgrounds and assumption is a dangerous thing to an individual and also to the society. And since television is a medium to deliver a message that is able to reach countless of audience, creators and producers sometimes use this platform to corrupt the minds of the audience. Shows like the Two Broke Girls, they promote racial stereotypes, and some adults may detect these stereotype jokes and some may not, because producers do it in a very subtle way. And the next one is it promotes violence. The presence of violence has provoked and given motivation towards viewers, especially young ones, as they are easily influenced by others. Watching violent television shows or programs is not a good role model for kids, as it does not teach them any moral value, but it instead teaches the audience to act with violence towards an issue. Okay, one of the most violent TV shows today is The Walking Dead, and kids sometimes they watch this show without any parent with them. Okay. Okay, the last is it also promotes sex and nudity. Television programs have been airing sexual content almost without filtration, as it also shows nudity. This has resulted in the increased number of sexually active teenagers, as it widely believed that television plays a role in hastening the initiation of sexual activity in the teens. Youngsters are common to receive youngsters are common to receive STD and also likely to undergo unplanned pregnancy, because what they see on TV, it provokes them, it gives them it motivates them to do those actions. And according to Welch A, the TV show American Horror Story contains some very disturbing sex scenes that can destroy someone's mind. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so now I'm going to talk about why do people watch more entertainment programs than education programs. Entertainment programs are watched more than education programs by people nowadays. There are several reasons why people watch entertainment programs more than educational ones. One of the reasons is the language in the entertainment program is easier to understand compared to the educational programs. This is because educational programs require a higher level of language and understanding from the viewers. Other than that, education programs need the viewers to be more focused and also requires a higher concentration while watching. They do not bother to learn something on television because for them, television is to entertain, which they can watch it while cooking, cleaning the house, eating and others, but not to study. In addition, educational programs are also more factual than the entertainment programs. Some people might perceive it as boring because they are looking forward for something fun to watch, not something that provides facts. But last but not least, people nowadays watch entertainment programs more for the emotional values, for example such as drama movies, fantasies and others. Most of people nowadays watch entertainment programs because they feel connected to the character in the televisions. Meanwhile, educational programs do not provide them TV shows that are connected to them because it is based more on facts. Okay, now I'm going to talk about how to encourage viewers to watch more educational programs than entertainment programs. There are many ways to encourage them. For example, for students, the government should encourage the school to play more intellectual programs during school hours. For example, they should provide televisions and play educational programs in every classroom for students to learn it easier. Not only that, they should insert intellectual programs in every syllabus for students. Teachers should play their roles to explain to them how important to watch educational programs, as it gives lots of benefits to them. For adults, make an easy accessible channel without paying for it to learn about new things, so that they don't have to laboriously look for it on the internet, because some of adults do not know how to use internet since they are not exposed since little. Lastly, for children, every parent should encourage them to watch more educational programs since little, rather than allowing them to play with gadgets to fill up their time. Most of children nowadays prefer to spend their time playing video games or handphones instead of read some books to fill up their leisure time. There are also many educational programs for children to watch. For example, Dora the Explorer, Barney and Friends, Sesame Street, Backyard Science and others.
Okay, so for the conclusion, the main reason why television is the most important things for people nowadays is because it have a lot of entertainment programs than educational programs. The language that they have been using is easier to understand than educational programs. Educational programs prefer more standard language and it takes a few moments to understand. Educational program contains any factual things that they do not like to know, and the timing of that program will take a few hours. Compared to entertainment programs, it always full of emotional, pornography and variety shows. It affects the children's health because they will spend long and extensive hours by watching a television, and children will be more violent and aggressive behavior because they have influence. For adults, sometimes they do commit suicide because they are easily influenced by the movies and it has been ruined their life by being depressed. Entertainment programs or reality program is highly sexual and violent, so they will follow by doing what have been seen because they felt all the program is connected to them. Some of the shows do tell about stereotypes of women, and it makes some of the women feel low self-esteem because they are insecure with it. The show's content is telling about body shaming about another ethnic or background of someone. Entertainment program is the higher rating than educational program because a lot of people love to watch reality shows like American Idol. Last but not least, reality television is a popular source of entertainment, but it will do harm to society by influence some unmotivated part that will affect them to do it in real life. Thank you.